The Fortnite storyline is over. The original storyline has just come to an end, and we are already on the new story. And Fortnite will never be the same. I'm sure if you guys are just like me, you binge these videos over and over again just watching the event, but I'm still going to quickly explain what happened in this event, because there's some things that you might have missed, such as Midas. So the end event occurred again, just a quicker version where the rocket falls from the sky, but this time it actually is switching through things. Like it became a shark at one point, it became crack shot at one point, and then it started lapping around the meteor like it did. But then when the meteor was falling from the sky, it started switching really quickly, and it was swapping places and things, and whatever it was just switching over and over. Then it landed into the 0 point, the black hole occurred again, and then, oh wait, boom, everything collides, the Big Bang happens. But this time it's not a regular Big Bang. The Big Bang is supposed to be something that creates everything, which it seems like it's done in this case, but this time it's the opposite. The everything, aka the 0 point, is actually getting destroyed. The meteor actually goes inside, and whenever it's inside, something happens to destroy the 0 point and set everything free, causing all of these multiverses and this reality and the omniverse to be out there. And where we see the Lego universe, we see racing universe, we see festival with music and Eminem. And then at the very end, we can see the universe that is chapter 5. This was supposed to be the big reveal at the end, but since we had seen this already during the season for the background of the lobby, it was kind of a letdown. It wasn't a very big reveal. But how come Fortnite will never be the same? Well, since the 0 point has been destroyed, that's the end of Fortnite's storyline. The storyline is that with the 0 point, it has to protect itself, because within the power of the 0 point, you can have power over everything. That's why the last reality comes. That's why the IO wants control over it. That's why the 7's fighting for us to be set free, because everybody wants it. That's why the cube came. That's why the devoured came. It wants power over everything. But without it, there's nothing to have power over. But that's not just it. The loop is a thing to protect the 0 point. But when there's no 0 point, there's no loop. And if you don't know what the loop is, it's a 22-minute cycle that respawns the players with the storm. But since there's no 0 point, that's the whole point of the game. To reset every match with the storm closing in, you have to survive and win. But there's no 0 point, which means there's no loop, which means there's no battle royale. So technically the battle royale story is finished, and the 0 point is gone. I'm on us! But what does this mean? Does this mean that there's no snapshots? Does this mean that there's no death and respawn? Does this mean that there's no storm? Well, sort of, yeah. I mean, maybe for the game, there's going to be actually a storm and a respawn, obviously, because they're not removing Battle Royale. But for the storyline and for canon to Fortnite, there's no more loop. And actually, this might sound like a stretch, but I have something to back it up. Mark Rain's word of the season was #SavePeely. It was a little different this time, but as we're floating towards space, we see a sign that says Save Peely. And then at the end, going around this little galaxy, we can see something that says Peely is missing. So, what is going on with this, and why is this important? Well, in the Chapter 5 Season 1 trailer, we can actually see that Peely is gone. Peely has been taken by somebody known as, I forgot the name, somebody known as the Society. There we go, I remember. Basically, with this storyline so far, it's the Underground versus the Society. And this is just like Hunger Games. The Society is the majority of people run by a government. And the government gets in their head and makes them think that bad things are normal. That's kind of what seems to be happening here. And this underground team is run by Jones. But Jones finds out that the Society has actually stolen his best friend, Peely. If this world is more realistic than Fortnite and it's not a loop, then how come Peely even seems normal? People are actually used to things like Peely in this world, like Teen Mutant Ninja Turtles, because they are actually spotted in the sewers in the trailer. It's regular for Fortnite, but for a normal galaxy, that would not be normal, but in this case, it is. But what does this even have to do with anything? Well, if we're looking for Peely, that means that in canon to Fortnite, there is no more loop. Because if they stole Peely, they would just get reset in the next 20 minutes and it wouldn't have mattered, right? And Jones wouldn't have had to go for him because if he died anyway, he would have respawned. But what if now in this new world, there's no loop, and if you die, you don't respawn? So that's why Jones is actually caring so much about Peely, because Peely could die right here and he'll never see him again. Now, this is something we need to talk about. No more loop in Fortnite is really different. The island was the story. The 0 point was the center of the story. But now that Charlie Wen is the leader of the storyline, he wants to do something different. He's gonna use Jones and Peely still and these regular storyline characters like Midas, but he's gonna change it up. And I trust him actually. He was actually the storyline director of Kratos, and he's worked with some Marvel movies. This is a very big deal. Fortnite could be in good hands here. But I do get it where you say that this event was a little lackluster because there was no storyline, and it didn't really explain a lot. There was this whole thing with Sloan and Jones, and it just kind of fell through. It kind of didn't get spoken about. It didn't get explained. The big reveal was a little bit of a letdown because it was just the background of the screen the whole time, so we already knew it was coming. Something that we didn't know was coming was Midas? Midas is finally, maybe, possibly back in the storyline. Pointed out by, of course, Cyan, the Midas lover. There's actually a golden galaxy. And this galaxy isn't just golden. It features loads of things connected to Midas. Such as, maybe the shark that killed him. There's a golden chair. Phone booths, which were introduced in the season Midas came out, loads of those kinds of little secrets. And if you think that that's not enough, well, you might be right, because that's just a galaxy. But there's more. Because in the Chapter 5 Season 1 trailer, we can see a scene in the underground where Jones finds out that Peely's been stolen. And something is hidden in the background. All over the floor there are files scattered around. Not just any files, guess who's there? There are 2 Midas files. No, these aren't placeholders, and no, these aren't reused assets because there's also just regular files laying around, which means that the Midas files are very important. So now here's the real question. Do we think Midas is gonna make a return?